What's going on? It's Stuntman Nado, and today we are going to be going over the top 5 rap albums of 2025. This means that the album has to be a rap album, so if it's an R&B record made by a rapper, it does not count. Why am I not doing 10? I don't really have an answer for that. I feel like that'd just be too much. Like now you doing too much. You feel me? So yeah, we're not doing 10. We're just gonna do 5. And I have honorable mentions though, so that's basically what my top 10 looks like, or my 6 to 10 ish. So with that being said, let me move my camera over to the corner and let's begin. All right, we're gonna start off with albums that are not in this video. We have Music by Playboy Cardi, More Chaos by Ken Carson, What Happens to the Streets by 21 Savage. I kind of added it there because it's like a newer album, still not on here. Psychotic by Osama Sun. Some people might think that's crazy. Anyways, Jack Boys 2, Boo. Rest in Bass by Che, Grit and Grace by Richard Miri, UI Scooty by Young Thug, and Wham by Lil Baby. Now, the reason why I Am Music is not on there, bloated track list, AI songs, the features were doing too much. We did not need Kendrick Lamar on a Playboy Cardi album. That doesn't even make sense. That's just how you know straight money grabs. More Chaos as an album goes, it's kind of weak, but there's standalone songs on that album that absolutely bang. So when it comes to the album, I can't put it on there. But if we were going to do hypothetically do songs, then that's a possibility that Ken Carson songs would be on there. What Happened to the Streets? I kind of just added that there. Okay. Anyways, Psychotic. If y'all think this is top 5, top 10, respectfully, you have lost your mind. I've listened to this album in its entirety. I was gonna make a video about it, but the album was so bad that I was hating on it so much that like it wouldn't even make for a good video. So I might drop a compilation of me just hating on the album. We'll see. Jack Boys 2. The fact that I stayed up for this album is insane to me, looking back now at how ass the album is. Once I seen the cover of the album, I knew it was gonna be ass. I'm gonna be completely honest. Once I seen the cover of the album, I knew it was gonna be trash. Rest in Bass by Che. I think Rest in Bass by Che is worse than Psychotic. So, Rest in Bass by Che, no way, Jose. That's nah. Grit and Grace by Richard Miri. I respect the attempt for the conceptual album. Songs like Homesick kind of really tie the album together, but at the same time, it just felt like just a bunch of Richard Miri throwaways. So it didn't really move me too much. UI Scooty. This was supposed to be Young Thug's, his hit back home after being released, and it 100% disappointed. I think he just waited too long, in my opinion. And then Wham by Lil Baby. The beats on this album are trash. Too many hi-hats. Lil Baby can't really rap for real. I mean, he can rap, but like his vocals are very iffy on this album. So these albums are not on this video. They won't be in the top 5. So if you don't see an album you like here, it's either in the top 5 and honorable mentions, or it's not even in the video, period. But with that being said, let's go on to the honorable mentions. Okay, let me make my camera a little bit bigger. All right. Okay, honorable mentions. We got The Boy Who Played Harp by Dave. We got Oi by YT. We got Balloonerism by Mac Miller. We got Hurry Up Tomorrow by The Weeknd. We got Don't Tap the Glass by Tyler the Creator, Alfredo 2, Freddie Gibbs, The Alchemist, and Dopamine by Lil Tecca. Now, I listened to Dave, Mac Miller, The Weeknd, Tyler the Creator, Freddie Gibbs. I listened to those albums just like one time fellow through, but I don't really like revisit those albums as much. So for this instance, I'm going to be making a case for Oi by YT and Dopamine by Lil Tecca. Now, conceptually, both of these albums are phenomenal. Oi with the, 2000s PSP vibes. The music videos are absolutely incredible. YT got it on lock, how he like manipulates his name into different brand logos. That whole conceptual creativity, I think, is phenomenal, and I think this album should be looked at more. But what I do not like as much about this album is that the track list is not that strong. I'm gonna be honest. Like the way the album was looking, the way the rollout was, I was thinking this album's about to be fire. There's a couple bangers on that album, like Girls Trip, Arenas, Diamonds, Black and Tan, Serena. But as the track list goes in entirety, I think there's only like 12 tracks on that album. It just wasn't really like as consistent as I would have expected from YT. And Dopamine, again, this is like another lane for Tekka. This is like his first album without him on it. And the album's called Dopamine. The two leading singles, Dark Thoughts and Owa Owa, those were bangers. But when it comes to the soundscape of this album, it's just like sonically, it's just like Tekka rapping on Tekka type beats, you know? Like when you call the album Dopamine, I would expect like, you know, actual like dopamine like songs, but in this album, the real only dopamine thing we really got was the transitions from song to song with like the whole radio thing, which I think was dope. The transitions were fire. But I don't know. Like what's that one song called? It's like let the message on red. I'm not trying to talk, right? Like songs like that, bro. Like they all like in my opinion, they all sound the same. You know, I don't even like. I listen to Dark Thoughts occasionally. I'll listen to Favorite Lie. I'll listen to Sure of It. I'll listen to Tic Tac Toe. And but like besides that, I don't really see myself revisiting the album a lot, and that's coming from a Tekka fan. I don't think this is his best work, to be honest, in my opinion. But if any of these albums are in your top 5, top 10, I 100% respect it. I just wanted to highlight Oi by YT and Dopamine by Lil Tecca because those are the ones that I feel the strongest about out of these honorable mentions. But with that being said, let's move on to number 5. At 5, we got God Does Like Ugly by JID or JID. Not too sure, right? But that's not important. Now, the last JID album release was The Forever Story, right? And I honestly think that God Does Like Ugly was a really good follow-up. Is it gonna reach that level of The Forever Story? Of course not, you know? But I would compare this kind of like a college dropout to Late Registration. Both are incredible albums, but there's obviously a gap in there's a gap between the first and second installment. So in this case, I think Jid did his thing. He was rapping hard. He had like a Blackpink line in there. I'd say my favorite song is probably Skate. I also like You Ugly with WSG. I also like VCR, and I also like Glory. So the album, I kind of just listened to it one time, but it was really good. Like really, 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 really good. So yeah, I have that at the 5. Now at the 4. Now this is one that I'm not expecting people to have in their top 5. But for me, I really enjoyed the album. And that is Broken Hearts 3 by Destroy Lonely, the Top Floor Boss. Now, I personally do believe that this is the best album that dropped under the Opium rap label this year. And yes, that means I believe that this is better than I Am Music, 100%. Now, when I tell y'all, bro, like, even just, like, starting off with the intro, Ain't Hard, right? Bro, that eerie, like, guitar at the beginning encapsulates that album cover to the max, bro. And just, bro, that, like, the whole thing as to why I have this here is because all of the songs fall under the same umbrella sonically, so they all sound like it's on the same album, but they all sound different at the same time. So like, bro, this album is just so fire. We got Ain't Hard, Risk, No Pressure, STFU, Screwed Up, Party and Get High, Interlude, Jumanji, So High, and Open It Up. Those are my highlights from the album. But man, this album tracklist was so consistent. Only very few misses. So honestly, I was very surprised, bro. I was very surprised from Lone with this album. It was an absolute slapper. I know there's some Lone fans that are like, yes! Shout out to y'all, bro. Because this album was actually really good. So yeah. Next up, we have what I think is gonna be everybody's number one if they listen to rap music like that. And we have Let God Sort 'Em Out by Clips, Pusha T, Malice. You can't really see it, it cuts off, but regardless, these guys, Clips, they got bars. Like they can rap. Like I don't even like putting them in that rap category. These dudes are MCs. Like they're that skillful with their words. But I did only listen to this album one time, but because I just don't like, this is not the type of music I bump, so I'm not gonna revisit songs or like add songs to my playlist. But man, this album was fantastic. They had Nas on the album. They had Tyler the Creator on the album. They had Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar came correct on that Chips and Chains and Whips song. His verse was actually fire. I'm glad that he wasn't on that weak like this type of flow like he did on Good Credit off of music, bro. He went crazy on this. So when it comes to this album, if you have this at your one, I 100%, I get it, bro. But for me, everybody's ears are different. This is probably the objective number one for the year, but I personally have it at 3 because like I'm thinking about which albums moved me the most, you know. So yeah. Now at number 2, which is the runner up, we have Dangerous Summer by Yeet. Oh my God. Okay. Now, you might say, but Nado, this is an EP. I don't care. EPs to me are like 4 to 6 songs. This is 11 songs, bro. That ain't no EP, bro. I don't care. I'm going to call it an album, bro. And, you know, looking at Yeet, looking back at 2024, we got 2093 from him and Lifestyle. You know, the fans were complaining about 2093, so he went back to his old stuff, or attempted to, and dropped Lifestyle. And I feel like he regressed his sound in that sense. And you know, when he dropped The Dangerous Summer, man, no rollout. He didn't like show who was on what songs, I think. But man, starting off with that intro, Put It On God, bro, that song is a movie. Local is a movie. Come and Go, a movie. ADL is Coming, a movie. MFU, a movie. Two Tone and Fly Night and Growing Pains. Those 3 songs at that end of the album, I was like, yo, this dude Yeet is crazy. I didn't even know Yeet could like evolve his sound into something that sounds like this. Like this is a sound that I didn't know I needed, and I'm so grateful that I have. You feel me? So songs like Two Tone and Fly Night, I'm like, wow, Yeet is really in his bag. And when it comes to Dangerous Summer, because of how good this album is, or this EP is, I'm scared for what a dangerous life sounds like in the best way possible. I'm terrified. Because if this is, and I think I heard on TikTok or an interview, I don't know how factual this is. Apparently he made this in like 4 days or something. I'm not too completely sure on that, but we'll just go with the fact. We'll just say that if that's true. If that's true, this dude is crazy. He is a monster. He's a machine. And like, also, these are the songs that didn't make it onto A Dangerous Life. So that's why I'm scared for A Dangerous Life. If these songs didn't make it to A Dangerous Life, I'm scared in the best way possible to see what is on A Dangerous Life. So yeah, Yeet went absolutely crazy. The day this album dropped was a big day for me. There was a lot of good and bad stuff that happened, and just ending it off with that Yeet album and hearing, put that shit on God. Man, that just... And I had these headphones on, the XM4s. What an experience. But with all that being said, there can only be one winner. And I made a video about this album. We got SD Kid. I'm trolling. We got Black British Music 2025 by Jim Legacy. Man. This album is so full of personality, bro. Full of personality. I feel like I know Jim Legacy like this. Full of personality. And full of depth as well. He touches on a lot of sensitive subjects close to his life. And not only that, Jim Legacy produced every single song on this album except for two, which is DBAB and '06 Wayne Rooney. So he self-produced this album. And man, if you have not listened to this album, man, you are truly missing out. This album kind of like is inside of the realm of like Learn to Swim by Red Veil and Saheem by Saw Baby, in the sense of like it's just full of personality. Like, I feel like I understand this person. They're not trying to make an album. They just experienced life and made it an album. Some rappers make albums. These guys, they just focused on their work, and when the time was right, they merged them all into one body of work, and it worked incredibly, you know? So yeah, I would say this is closer to Learn to Swim by Red Veil, because Red Veil also produces his own stuff as well. But man, this album had sounds and genres and subgenres I've never heard of, and it was just a slapper through and through, to be honest. But yeah, those are my top 5 rap albums of 2025. As a recap: 5, God Does Like Ugly by Jid. At 4, Broken Hearts 3, Destroy Lonely. At 3, Let God Sort 'Em Out by Clips. At 2, Dangerous Summer by Yeet. And at 1, Black British Music by Jim Legacy. That's all I really have to say. 2025, mid. But I'm glad Jim Legacy dropped, and Yeet, and Lone, because those are the people I listen to, you know? So shout out to them. Shout out to y'all. 2026 gonna be a movie. And I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. No cap.